video. This is a video about the brand new Mike album, Pinball. You know what I'm saying, man? Are you comprehending what I'm speaking, sir? Yo, this is a video about the new Mike album, Pinball. You know the drill, bro. Mic drop. So you know I gotta talk about it. You know I gotta spit some opinions. You know I gotta be real about it. Because Mike is an artist I love, but I've only been tapped into him really for like maybe a year? Not even a year? I'm not even sure. I was introduced to his song Evil Eye a while ago. But he is great. He's amazing. He's killing it. And he had my album of the year last year with Burning Desire, which was peak city. But I'm not really going to yap a whole bunch about this album, because I don't think that's what this album's really for. I wasn't even expecting a return from him so soon, seeing as Burning Desire only dropped in October, and it's just now March. I mean, I'm not complaining, even though this is a huge departure for Mike in terms of musical content, I guess, and musical style. Because this is entirely produced by a guy named Tony Seltzer, who I've never heard of before, but he makes trap kind of plug-and-B beats, which if you're familiar with Mike is like the complete opposite of him. He raps over like abstract hip-hop instrumentals that he makes. So this is like Mike stepping out way out of his comfort zone, which is cool. This is really cool to me. Also seeing as this is kind of like a throwaway album in a way, I guess. I mean, it's a studio album, it's a real album, but this isn't like an album experience, if that makes sense. I'm sure he's gearing up to drop something later this year, I hope, because he's dropped like every year for a while now. But I feel like he's just stopping in to give us a little something to chew on, a little departure from the normality while we wait. And I mean, there's a lot to chew on here, despite the short runtime, because Mike does really good on these beats. Quite surprisingly, honestly, there's some things here where there were some songs here, I should say, where I was like super surprised, like wow, you know, Mike did that. But this isn't an album to be super like scrutinized and looked into, I don't think. It's just Mike having fun for 20 minutes with obviously features from Earl and his friends and stuff like that, which is super cool to see. The lyrical like quality and content itself is nothing crazy. It's honestly probably the lowest point of his lyrical quality on this album in terms of his discography, but that's not the point of this album. He's not trying to make some, you know, crazy album like he has before. And I'm not going to knock that, but I'm also not going to sit here and lie and say this is anywhere near something like Disco or Burning Desire or Beware the Monkey. Like there's just no way you can say that, despite this being pretty good. Lethal Weapon's the only song I don't really like on this album, but it's not terrible. I guess it's just not my thing. The beat's kind of weird. I don't really like Mike's performance on it, which is not that big a deal. I thought the beat for Two Door was incredible. It kind of sounds like a Benny X beat almost. Like, it's just a very crazy, very interesting, it's just very cool. It's very cool to see something like this, especially with a song like On God, which is featuring Earl, like I mentioned, who has got on some trap songs before. Like, I know on his album Sick, there were some songs that were like more trap influenced, and for some reason, like, abstract hip-hop and trap kind of blend more than you'd think in terms of music and also like groups of people for whatever reason. Like Earl produced for Lucky on Freewave 3 on the song All In. Like that seems like super like weird and unexpected that Lucky and Earl Sweatshirt would be friends. But like speaking of Lucky, on the song Underground Kings, I'm pretty sure he shouts out Lucky, which I think is pretty cool because there is apparently a mutual friend there. I thought the song Pinball had a very Lil Yachty sounding beat. Obviously not current Lil Yachty, but like Yachty in nature. And the final song, 2K24 Tour, was my absolute favorite song on this album. That beat is super insane. It's the closest to like natural old Mike, I guess, which is probably the reason I like it a lot. But that it's just a really good. It's featuring Niante, who was on Burning Desire on the song Muscle Beach, which is probably my favorite song on that album too. So keep it up, Niante. But yeah, this album is just like something fun for Mike. I hope he's having fun with it, you know. Way different for Mike. It's something people probably aren't meant to like, you know. He's probably not trying to make something grandiose, which is fine. I don't love it, but I like a lot of these songs enough to have them on my playlist. Like over here on my playlist that I listen to, I have most of the songs on there. But it's not an insane album. It's not like this isn't dark fantasy. You know what I mean? But I think it's good that he did this. And I can totally understand if you yourself can't get down this album, because it's not a regular album for Mike or anything like his contemporaries, or even, it's nothing like Slums, it's nothing like any other album he's done before. The only comparison I can think of is maybe Tears of Joy, because there were some beats on there that were more trap influenced, and also maybe Renaissance Man. But like, no, this is very unique Mike, and it's only like his first, or I think it's his second time doing a collab album with a producer, because last year he had Faith is a Rock with The Alchemist and Wiki. And then here we have him doing a collab with Tony Seltzer, which I think is really cool, because Mike has a pretty big voice these days with his music and stuff. So putting on people I've never heard of before, like Tony Seltzer, who has an album with Wiki, which is pretty cool. But I think this is really cool for Mike to do. But I if you don't like this, it's probably because you're in love with like the MF Doom kind of Mike, and you're like, I hate this new generation of stocked up rappers who can't even follow up with what they're saying. Can't believe it. When I was young, we had Tupac and Biggie, but you're just some boring hip-hop purist who wants to hear like him monotonely rap over Earl beats all day, which is fine, but you're also a lame hip-hop purist. And this album is a super strong 7 out of 10, because most of the songs on here are pretty cool. I'm glad Mike changed it up and did his thing. Super sick.